This is to show what the troubleshooting error codes mean. Here I'm going to turn on only the foot pedals and cause it to have an error too. Right now it's trying to turn the cranks, but I'm holding it down. So an error 2 usually means that the foot cranks are stuck, and it'll give you an error code and then it'll rotate back. That is a safety thing to prevent the user's legs from getting wound up if they get stuck. To reset it, you just turn off the power switch down below. I'm going to turn it back on. Now I'm going to show an error 1. I'm going to turn on the hand cranks and then hold them stationary. So here, an error 1 came on because the cranks got stuck. They rotated backwards in case someone got bound up onto it. It's a safety feature. So that just means that possibly something caused the machine to not be able to rotate. To check for a cause of an error 2, come to the underside of the machine and you'll see that there's this little twist cap. With the power turned off, remove that twist cap and there's this little fuse. You'll want to see if the little silver line in there is still there, or if you see any sort of black residue, that would mean that the fuse popped and you need to get a replacement fuse. This one's good. As I showed, it functions. It's just I caused it to error out. So put that one back. There is a second fuse down here. Just twist this off and check for that silver line again. If it's clear and the silver line's still there, it may be a further internal issue. Pause it. So if you're having an error 1 on the upper section, another thing to check out is right here on the side, there's this plastic bushing. Pull that out. When you do that, you'll see that there's this sensor and this plastic disc. With the power shut off and the power cord unplugged from the wall, come and poke that little wheel there. See if it's fixed, see if it's loose. If it's fixed and not moving, that's good. Check it, see if you see any scrapes, because the sensor right here may be rubbing against it and causing this optical sensor here to not be able to see the light flashing through the little slits as the crank rotates. So if that's good, then it may just be that your optical sensor is bad and that needs to be replaced. A similar thing can be done for an error 2 at the bottom end with the switch off and the power disconnected. Cord's right there. I'm going to come here and pop this off. Put it to the side. You can see another disc here. Is that disc intact? Is it held stationary? You see that that disc rotates with the pedal, so that looks correct. Look for any scrapes because this second optical sensor may be rubbing on it and the plastic debris from rubbing is blocking the optical sensor. If that doesn't have any sort of scrapes or marks, it may just be your optical sensor needs to be replaced. Another point to check is come and remove the shroud on this side, the right side of the machine, and you'll see these wires. This gray wire right here connects the optical sensor to the electronics. So you want to check if that's fully connected, and if it isn't, plug it in and then check it again, plug in the power, turn the switch without touching anything other than the console and see if that will get the cranks to go. Similar thing can be found on the top section. This gray wire here on the bottom of the console, it connects to the speed sensor, and make sure that's fully plugged in. And then once you get that plugged in, if it's not, turn on the console and try to see if it will get the cranks to turn.